Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for patch 1 of update 111 of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, let's just jump right in. We have got a new toy, or rather a long-awaited replacement toy by Ole, our AR expert and collaborator. That's right, we finally have a dimensionally accurate, gorgeous-looking replacement for our H416. I honestly, I don't think I have gotten as many support requests for this gun as I have for any, because just the version that's been in game has been too narrow, and so it's been clipping into our mags this whole time, and I've had to be like, the gun's eventually being replaced, but then I just haven't gotten around to it. So here you go. Finally is, we're going to use it for some shooting. So what else in this update? So the new level release has been going fantastic. Folks have been enjoying it. I've been just trying to imbibe all of your feedback and tune things to make as many people happy as possible. But one group that I kind of let down with this initial release was those who like to play take and hold in limited ammo mode, where you don't have spawn locking, you're carrying much less ammo, and a bunch of the boss encryptions I added were just brutal on limited ammo. They were gear checks, ammo checks. They could just be a run ender. And so I have gone in and made a variant version of each of our boss encryptions. The regenerative is now a 3x3 instead of a 5x5 when in limited ammo mode, which means if you do it carefully, do it in 9. I bet if you lined up perfectly, like if you got the angle just absolutely perfect, you could do that in 6 shots because you could overlap 2 rows of them. I think. I'm not 100% positive. The penetration energy might run out going through that many of them. You'll have to give that a try. The polymorphic spawns with fewer of its initial red target dots active than when in standard ammo mode. You'll also notice that I tried to improve its visual legibility a little bit, made the blue body a little less glowy, made the red sections a little more uniformly glowy. We no longer overpen. As you can see, I was able to do a shot directly at it without activating another target. Our cascading now, I'll pull the pistol out, is way less durable in its initial form. Just blasts right back apart even with a pistol round. Almost perfect. See, speaking, it gets worse. There we go. And then our orthogonal has been switched in limited ammo mode to being an 8-shot. Let's actually aim. Oh. Almost got that there. Wait for it to turn. Yes, I know it is a problem that it sometimes doesn't turn to expose its last remaining segment efficiently. I'm still trying to decide if I want to do that, because I don't want to necessarily just make it easy for you and just always turn it towards you, because then you could just stand in one spot and shoot at it. But obviously it can really screw you over, so still working on the design of that. But I think this should definitely help limited ammo mode. Let's go ahead and jump over to the actual level though, take a look at another couple changes. So we're over here in Institution. Let's take a look at what's changed. I have messed around with our sentinels here. Their beams are now significantly more likely to strike the player, especially if you're wandering through them like this. And you'll also notice he now follows me if he continues detecting me. Still clamped to his walk path, but that should make them a little more effective as obstructions. Honestly, I'm still working on them. I'm still not 100% pleased with how they work. we loaded this? Oh, we had. There we go. With our iris, we now see that when it's in its charging up state, it has like a targeting laser, which gives you a little bit better of an idea how close it is. Whew! That came right towards my nuts! Oh. Oh, it's not dead. Oh, did I not spawn lock my mag? We are just a comedy of errors here. Can we rescue this? Doot, 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 doot. Rescued situation. There we go. There you can see that the irises also drop health. Surprise! Which is helpful if you actually pick it up in time. Not that I need health. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do, instead of like a ray cast there, like a bit of a volume cast, just to like make it a little more likely to strike you. The player hitboxes aren't very large, and they don't actually extend all the way to the ground, so what's happening there is because those beams come out in like a cone, they're striking in areas where if you actually had a whole body here, it'd be hitting your legs, but it just doesn't in this case, so I'm gonna have to tweak that.
Is that really necessary?
Always. So, other things. Ooh, yes. Ammo. So, I have finally fixed this blasted thing. What do I mean by that? It means I can put this on here. I can say select jacketed hollow points. As a selection, I can pick it back up, put it back on, and jacketed hollow points remains as a selection. Go over to tracers, pick that, refill it. There's tracers. Put it back in here, hit the button, still tracers. Thank goodness. Also, for those of you who play limited ammo, the spawn cartridge button, you no longer have to rapid fire click it. You can just hold the trigger down. And it'll give you 5 rounds a second, which I assume should be enough for you all. At least I hope it is. There you have it. There were so many little bugs with this darn thing, and it now just works correctly, which makes me tremendously happy. Wonderful. I think that just about does it. That is all the things that were changed and fixed that at least have a visual component. There's lots of other small things that I'll be covering in a moment, or rather did before, because this is the second time that I have filmed this. I just want to come in here. Just get... Oh, come on! No! You're so bad, Anton. Let's just pretend we didn't see that. Oh, I'm jump out of VR. Yo, about out of VR, though I'm gonna be jumping back into VR in a moment because I just realized as I sat down to film this section of the devlog that I had my mic off for the first section of the devlog. So I'm gonna have to go refilm that after I do this section. So we're just gonna pretend that these in fact had been filmed in order. Anywho, what else is in this week's update? I have added a manifest entries for everything that was added in update 111 to that correct spot in the item spawner. We covered the irises. The sentinel constructs now drop health. Still working on their chase behavior a little bit. I basically tried to tune a number of the encryptions up in terms of visible legibility, especially because a couple folks had mentioned that they had some form of color vision impairment. And because of that, it was very difficult to tell whether you were shooting at an area of the encryption that was correct to shoot at versus not. And so I tried to make it work so those are a little more obvious from a purely luminance level and not just a color hue level. I fixed a whole bunch of random occlusion culling issues. One of my big projects this week was to basically try to teach the SOSIGs how to climb ladders better, because I thought they were okay at that based upon how they handled in the grill house, but apparently the topology of this level is a little more challenging to them. So I've basically tried to add a correction feature that detects when their torso detaches for more than a couple seconds from the place that it's supposed to be and warps them into place. It's less than ideal, but just given just how physics driven they are, it's just about the only way I can correct that type of disjunction. So it should help with them crawling, like coming up strangely on ladders, but it should also help in situations where they like spider wiener get stuck underneath a floor. As funny as that bug is, that's not how those are supposed to work. I figured out, I spent like half an afternoon trying to figure out the math for the player indicator orientation on the kiosk. Just when I think I finally figured out how vector math works, nope, I do not. Also, if you're wondering what that little clink sound is, if that comes through, I'm totally eating chocolate coins wrapped in foil. I love unpeeling these things. Okay, what else? Fixed a bunch of missing collision in Hydro, and I also made it so that the lower area is now no longer a complete dead end. There's an extra set of powered zip lines there, so if you end up going down there to explore and don't want to fall all the way into the pit to reset, you can get yourself back up. As I said, fix the ammo panel stuff. Oh, I fixed this like weird edge case. It took me like someone posted this weird video that every time they put one of the Meat Fortress guns down on the spawner, it would show them a random ammo. And then I jumped in like Ricky Random, and it wasn't doing this. And I was like, what is going on? Well, it turns out that when I had written this, I had to deal with the edge case of someone putting a gun on the ammo spawner that doesn't have any ammo that matches the valid sets and era tags of the character they're playing because they've enabled the item spawner. I didn't think about, and I was like, I had literally had in the code, like, to deal with this later. And so I had just written a return value of give me a random piece of ammo for some reason. So technically it wasn't a bug in that it was doing exactly what I told it to do. But what I told it to do was stupid. So that has now been fixed. Attachable firearms can now properly be recycled. Fixed some ammo class name display issues. Fixed a very embarrassing grammatical typo in the description for institution. Some missing sound effects. Some other broken metadata. Oh, and for those of you who had been reporting periodically spawning or beginning a take phase and hearing boxes break in a nearby supply room, I believe I have fixed that. It related to some old, very bad random orientation code that I had written that hadn't been a problem in the hallways taken hold, because if a pile of boxes fell over in hallways, the distance the top box fell wasn't very high. It wasn't enough to break the box, whereas in a couple of the supply rooms in institution, the pile of boxes is at like the top of a staircase. So if they spawned in, were slightly noised in their random orientation, went to stack, were misbalanced, fell over, they could actually fall 2 to 3 meters, which was enough to break them. So I believe I have fixed that by just writing better random orientation spawning code that sort of orients them just around one axis. So when they fall into a stack, they should always be stable. So, well, that's about it. That is the whole patch. Just in terms of stuff going on for the rest of this month, I am going to continue to patch this mode and largely just be focused on little fixes and enhancements and things like that, because at the end of the month, well, before the end of the month, near the end of the month, we're going to have Meatmas Day. So I'm putting most of my content energy now into prepping stuff for Meatmas Day. Stuff's going to be in the snow globe, like I'm sure many of you hoped. It's a fun selection of things, including some long-awaited things by a certain YouTube commenter who's requested them a lot. I'll be almost sad to see that shtick go when it goes. But yeah, so doing that. Also, just because I did this last year as well, if any of you would like to send me a holiday card or some snacks from the place in the world that you live, I always love if you can find snacks that especially I can't find online, but that are specific to your region. That's like my favorite thing in the world. So if you wanted to send me something, this is my P.O. box. I will show it off on video here. If you happen to send me anything, I always appreciate it. Don't feel pressured though. It's one of those things that some folks asked me in the past. There's a way they could send me something for the holidays, and I've gotten a couple fun things in the past. So there you go. Just make sure you address it exactly this way. Note that the words P.O. box are not on there, even though it is a P.O. box. Post office is like super specific about that. It can be rejected if it isn't just number that. So please write it down exactly. Man, P.O. boxes are a pain in the butt. Anywho, I think that's about it for this week. As I said, thanks so much for everyone who's been playing the level and enjoying it. I am reading all of your feedback. I know there's still a bunch of things that need to be tuned from a quality of life standpoint, from a difficulty curve standpoint. I'm taking all of your feedback into account and just trying to synthesize it. And we're in the slow tinker and improve phase of this level, which is a great place to be in. And because I want this to have the same sort of longevity and legs that Hallways has had for those of you who've been playing it for years. So gotta make it the best it can be. So anywho, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.